It is easy.
It was easy. It wasn't hard, right? No, it's not a hard thing to do. And what we'll do is we'll try to do more things like this as well. So I only want you to do things like this, do homework like this after we've done quite a lot of work beforehand, because it helps you by understanding not just okay why we need to do this, but one, why it's happening, and two, what you can do to fix it going forward. Okay, so we'll try to do more stuff like this, find more ways to have fun, and if we do this again, you know what? I'll try find a newspaper. I'll look online and see if there's an online newspaper where we can actually publish them all. And I'm pretty sure I know one already. But I'd have to contact them and say, hey, look, my name is Teacher Ryan. My name is Mr. Ryan Science. And I've got lots and lots of articles that you should publish for some lovely, lovely Vietnamese children who have lots to say about the environment and ecosystem change. So let me have a look and see where we go from there. Okay, let me share my screen because there's a couple things I want to get started today. For your homework today, I'm going to just send you a quick worksheet. It's not that hard, it's pretty easy. You've done lots of them like it before, so it won't be too difficult for you. It won't take you very long, so you won't get too much homework, okay? So I want to quickly just talk about this because I don't think I spent too much time on it before. And before we finish changing ecosystems, I just want to talk about this, okay? So crowded ecosystems. So ecosystems, when they get crowded, they can look like this. So many people, so much going on. But let's try this. Why do we think that ecosystems get crowded? Mid-A, why does an ecosystem get crowded?
Because people reproduce a lot.
Okay, people reproduce a lot. Fair enough. Okay, that's one way to think about it. Eraser, why else would an ecosystem get crowded?
Traffic.
Traffic, not just humans. Okay, I only just use humans as an example. But Jasmine, why do you think an ecosystem could be crowded with animals? What do you think can happen? Why do you think that happens?
Because the ecosystem that the animals live get destroyed, so they have to move to another one.
Yeah, they got to move to another place. Perfect. James, why else do you think an ecosystem could get crowded?
Huh?
Why else do you think an ecosystem could get crowded?
A crowd.
A crowded ecosystem is crowded because of a crowd. No. Okay, Bill, why do you think an ecosystem would be overcrowded?
Because if too many animals live there, it will have not enough food and shelter.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so what are the effects of this? What happens when there's too much crowding in an ecosystem? Hermione. Hermione, I can't hear you. I'm not sure. Send me a chat, okay? Laura, what do you think happens when there's too much crowding in an ecosystem?
No space.
No space, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's no space. Violet, what else?
Not enough food.
Yeah, not enough food, okay. Also, when there's not enough space and not enough food, what do you think happens to animals in that ecosystem?
The animals will don't have many. They will be small and very thin.
Yeah, they can be small and very sick. Good job. Sky, what else do you think? What else is going to happen if there's not enough food and not enough space?
Some animals will die.
Yeah, some animals will die. These are all like things that actually happen, okay? So ecosystems can get too crowded when there's too much of a population of organisms. This can happen normally over time, but sometimes is forced. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, so it can happen normally over time. You know, can you like think about that? Okay, so ecosystems over time can get too crowded. What do you think that means?
That a specific animal reproduce a lot, so when they reproduce a lot, they don't have space. The newborn don't have space, so it gets crowded.
Yeah, so basically, pandas are a really good example of this. Okay, pandas only have a baby maybe once every 3 to 4 years. So pandas are dying out because they just don't reproduce enough. Fair enough, their land and their area and their food supply is not is disappearing. Yeah, and then because they aren't making enough animals, they're going to disappear. If you take something like a rat or a rabbits, every 3 months, babies, loads and loads of babies. And if they don't put it down, it disappears. Another one is, I'm going to show you this, kind of yucky. I don't like it. This happens in Australia every year. Do you see this picture? See the tree? See the way it's completely covered in spider webs? Every year in Australia, one time of the year, spiders go, they explode. And the amount of spiders causes everything to be covered in spiders. There are so many spiders. Everything here, spiders, 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 yucky, yucky, yucky spiders. So normally, okay, that's a natural occurrence. Oh, thank you very much, Hermione, for that beautiful, beautiful picture of me. It makes me so happy. Thank you so much. Don't do that, it's horrible. Mr. Ice Cream, what does that mean when I say forced population?
Mr. Ryan, I wanted to tell you that
Okay.
Australia, I really like there, but spiders. Every time there has a spider in my house every day.
I would
Other spiders.
I would move house.
Every day.
I would actually move house. I can't.
In one day.
Okay, thanks for that. Cool.
Yes.
When I say the population is increased by force, what does that mean?
Can you say it again?
So in my slide, I said that populations can they can happen over time, but sometimes it's forced. What does that mean?
I think, but sometimes it's forced is the people force it to move.
Ecosystem changes, right? When an ecosystem changes, that's a forced move of population. It can disrupt the food chain and cause one population to increase or decrease. So Pencil, what do you think that means? So the population can increase or decrease because of food. Why do you think that is?
The population of the animal can be more or less.
Yeah, and why do you think the food? What's the food got to do with it?
The food can be less, and the animal that eats that food can die.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so there's too much population. They eat too much food. The other animals then suffer. Okay, so if you're to think about that as a food chain, think about, okay, all these animals eat these insects. Now there's more animals that eat insects. The other animals die. So these are the main things that happen. Okay, not enough food. So some animals suffer because there's just not enough food. Because there's not enough food, you get wandering. Wandering means to walk around or to find new places to go. So an example of this is a deer. Okay, when you have a deer that lives in an area and there's not enough grass, it starts to walk to other places to find grass. Man, what do you think happens when a deer walks from one place to another, one ecosystem to another? What do you think happens?
You say again.
Yeah, so one thing that happens when there's too much crowding in an ecosystem is you get something called wandering. So wandering happens when an animal keeps walking from one ecosystem to another ecosystem to another ecosystem. What effect do you think that has on the new ecosystem?
I think some of the deers will die because they're too weak.
Yeah, definitely. So 100%. What happens is if a deer starts walking from one place to another, it might not get to the other place. It could die. You could go to a place when there's too much predators. The deer could die again. Or it could go to a place where there's no predators and the deer could take over. So there's lots and lots and lots of things that can happen which are like not good for an ecosystem. Okay, so overcrowding can cause populations to go up or to go down. You can also get damaged ecosystems. You could get animals that could come in and eat all the grass in an area and it might not be able to grow back. Some of it can cause disease. Monkey, why do you think disease can happen when you get overcrowding?
When, for example, a bat, it carries the rabies and the Nipah virus. When there's more and more bats and more other animals in the ecosystem, the bats can spread the Nipah virus or the rabies around to the other animals.
Or coronavirus.
Wait.
That's the example. That's why I've used this. So overcrowding and a necessity to eat other types of food can lead to diseases such as coronavirus. Coronavirus is an animal flu that we are not able to deal with because of our immune system. There is an example of how changing ecosystems and bringing stuff into ecosystems can alter and change an ecosystem. Very simple, right? It is when two ecosystems get so close together, you get things like this happen. So, yeah, that's what. So not enough food, wandering, damaged ecosystem, disease. They're the main outcomes of overcrowding. Okay, I'm going to leave this be. So, let's try this. Minnie, what is an adaptation?
The adaptation is so animals can live in an ecosystem.
Yeah, so it's a way for animals to survive in an ecosystem. Rosie, what's an example of an animal adaptation?
The polar bear grow first so they can live in the cold places.
Yeah, cool. Snow, what's another animal adaptation?
Adaptation.
What's another animal adaptation?
Bear.
Huh?
Bear.
Bear. What about a bear? Hey, Ava, what's another animal adaptation that you know? Hey, Dory, what's another animal adaptation? Animal adaptation, can we hear you? No. Annie, tell me one last animal adaptation.
A polar bear and an ice.
Yeah, okay, so good stuff. So, why must plants and animals adapt? They must adapt in order to survive. So, adaptation allows a plant or animal to survive in their environment. This can be behavioral or physical. So if you look at this little hedgehog, I chose this little hedgehog because he's super cute. But a hedgehog is also a really good example of animal that has a physical adaptation. A hedgehog has spines on the outside of it, these bits here on the outside. It stops animals from eating them because they get scared, because they think they're going to get hurt. Hedgehogs are small, they're tiny, they just eat worms and stuff. They're not very fast, they can't see very well, but people don't eat them because they've got these spines, because they're prickly and they're not very nice to eat, okay? So when you look at other types of animals, there are behavior and physical, okay? So physical are things like a giraffe's long neck. A giraffe has a long neck to eat leaves at the very, very top of trees. You have a hummingbird. A hummingbird's got a long beak. It allows it to drink nectar. You have these pools and schools of dolphins that literally travel so far across the ocean to migrate, to go to different areas to find food. This is behavior. And this bird dancing is dancing to reproduce, to find a mate. So again, that's a behavior trait. All of these animals do these things or have these adaptations to meet a need, to survive. This one's to eat, this is to eat as well, this is to eat, and this is to reproduce. So all of these animals do these things as special adaptations in order to survive, okay? So that's what we're going to keep talking about the next day, and we're going to take it a little bit further. So I'll find you some interesting videos, find you some strange adaptations. There's a lot of really weird adaptations, but we'll talk through them. So for your homework, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a worksheet. Please get the worksheet done before tomorrow, please. If anyone hasn't finished their paper or their letter to the newspaper, please take the time and have a read through it as well. Does anybody have any questions for me today? No? Easy? All right, thank you, class. Good stuff. Love you. Have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.